My name is Amy Silvis with Raising Capital for Real Estate Investors. I hired Adam because I needed help building this podcast. It was brand new to me. I wasn't quite sure how to get started, how to make sure it was successful. So I decided to work with him. And by working with Adam, I've been able to create a really successful podcast. It was easy. It was fun. I felt like I knew exactly what I needed to do to serve my target audience. And the best part of working with Adam has been having the framework and not having to reinvent the wheel myself. There are proven tactics, strategies, and tools, and Adam handed them right to me. I knew exactly what I needed to do to execute. He was with me every step of the way, and I'm incredibly grateful and blessed to work with Adam. Highly recommend if you're considering creating a podcast or growing it that you work with him too. Thanks again to Adam. You're the man.
What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters simple strategies to help you make more money, get more clients, and build a profitable online business. Pod Pals, I am excited. We are going to be talking about my 2/3 content rule to help you convert more listeners into paying clients. This is a live coaching episode with my Pod Pal, Beverly. Now, if you want the heads up on these coaching episodes, make sure you are on my newsletter list. I sent out an email. I was asking people, hey, who wants to convert more listeners into paying clients? I got about 10 to 12 people that we booked for audit episodes like this, and now they're coming out as episodes. So I'm not posting that on social media. I'm not doing that anywhere else. It's on my website anymore. You've got to be on my newsletter list. So make sure you hit the newsletter link in the show notes. I'm delivering big value on that. You're basically missing out on half of my best content if you only listen to the audio podcast. So if you're new to the show here, I release an episode every Tuesday. I've done weekly content ever since 2015. I never miss. But I've put out a newsletter every week since 2018. And my newsletter is going to be on a different topic. It's not just your typical podcaster newsletter where they promote the latest episode of the show. I don't do that. I respect your inbox and your time more than that. I'm going to deliver huge value every Thursday. And here's the other little heads up, a little bonus, is that if you open my emails regularly, you will get a bonus Monday email from me that I'm calling Mentorship Monday. But that's only for people that are opening my emails. That I've got a filter set up, and I'm basically writing a Monday email series about just lessons learned and advice I wish somebody had given me early on in my career as an online business owner and as a content creator. So if you're opening my emails, those should be popping up as well. You'll get a bonus send from me with some bonus content. And of course, it's all free. So don't miss out. Great stuff in your email inbox from your buddy Adam every week. Hit the link in the show notes, and you can also get that heads up when I go, hey, I'm doing some more of these audits. Who wants in? First come, first serve. Now, this topic of converting listeners into clients, this is a problem I love helping people solve. This is probably in the content entrepreneurship, content creator, online business space, this is probably the problem I'm best known for helping people solve, is converting listeners into paying clients. I feel like a lot of content creators are going about it the wrong way. My 2/3 content rule is something I created several years back. Now it's cool to see, I see other people coaching this method, and I'm like, hey, that's neat. That's neat. I created that thing. It's caught on in the industry a little bit, and a lot more people are using this. So this episode, again, it's a coaching episode, and I dive deep into this topic with Beverly. I think you're going to like it. So without any further delay, Pod Pals, let's dive in. All right, Pod Pals, we are here for a podcast listener client conversion audit episode. I got my Pod Pal Beverly on here. She has the Wickedly Branded podcast. It's Wickedly Branded Marketing, Magic, and the Messy Middle. Beverly, I'm excited to have you here. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, I'm so stoked to hear all the wonderful things that you can do to help it make my podcast way better. I feel like sometimes when you're a podcaster, you're kind of in your own little bubble and you need to come out of the trees to see what you really have in front of you. So I am so excited, Adam, to learn and hear from you.
I've got ideas, Beverly. Look out. Okay. But first, before the ideas, I've got a few clarifying questions to help me out here. First things first, for myself and for our audience, describe your ideal client avatar. Like, who is the person that you want to convert from? They find your show, they become obsessed with your show, they want to hire you. Who is that person? What are some describing attributes?
They're overwhelmed, overbooked, and over it. Like, they not overbooked, but overworked, in the sense of they're female founders typically, and they're consultants, creatives, and coaches. And they've been doing everything possible for the marketing side of things and branding side of things, and nothing's sticking. And they just feel like every time they open up Canva, every time they open up LinkedIn, crap, what do I have to do now? Like, they don't have any ideas. They feel lost. They feel, maybe they even hate marketing, because it comes to that point. And they are just kind of over it all. So
Okay.
I say, if you have 37 tabs open, 4 color-coded marketing checklists, and a cold cup of coffee when you do your marketing, then you're probably the best person to talk to me.
Okay. I love it. Okay. Now, what are the problems that these people have? You got into it there, but are there any like 2-3 problems that you are excellent at solving for these people, that you are like when you, with your content? I always consider like the content is kind of the slow and steady track, but if they hire you, you can kind of fast track things. But what are those 2 to 3 things that you are like, this is home run, easy stuff for me, and it always helps them?
So most of our clients feel that overwhelmed, and they almost feel like they're going to give up. And that would be so sad if they gave up. And because they're so burnt out, like, they're just done, wearing all the hats, doing the accounting, and all they did is they wanted to start the business because they had a passion. They had a why that really mattered, that spark that mattered. And if we can get them back to that and show how unique they are, and what they can center their brand around, that isn't about their competition, isn't about that. If we can fully develop their why and their passion and their purpose, and then who they serve and the transformation they offer, we can build their confidence. We can make it more fun again. It allows them to be fully themselves, authentically in their business. I feel like sometimes I call it the should suitcase. So many entrepreneurs carry a should suitcase. Society says your business should look like this, especially for women. I feel like it's a little bit harder, Adam. Not that I'm against any of the boys, don't get me wrong. But for women, I feel like, especially in the messy middle of life, when we're raising children, we have a spouse, we have our parents, we're doing all of these things in our personal life, and we're also a business owner, it can get real hard real fast. And so if we can bring them into their center of genius, into that zone of genius, really go hard in there, build the confidence, from clarity of who they are. The clarity is first, then the confidence comes, and then momentum is so magical. So that's really the 3 things that I think, help with our business, my business. And when we talk about this stuff on our podcast, we ask for how people, our podcast guests specifically are women, female founders, and usually in really unique businesses. And I love that so much. Like, that there's so many different types of businesses. We talk about the spark, the why, how they started their brand. We talk about when it's gotten hard, the biggest mistakes and myths they've had to conquer over themselves. What does success look like to them? Sometimes we're so good at moving the goalposts, we don't sit in our success long enough.
Yeah.
And just hearing some of these stories from women who've been there, done it, been in the trenches, gotten past it, and maybe even not even totally past it. I'm not totally past it, Adam, but 5 years ago, me was really in the heart of it, in the thick of it. And now the me that's here wants to help those people that were 5 years ago get past it. And I have a method. I have the brand magic method, and we kind of talk about that a little bit on the journey. So it's my Oprah
You're creating
moment,
clarity.
though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're creating that clarity. I love content that creates clarity, because a lot of people are just overwhelmed right now, and there's a huge market for clarity and simplicity and streamlining things. So, all right. Now I want you to grade yourself with your podcast content. Scale of 1 out of 10, 10 being I'm awesome at this, 1 being I really need to improve a lot on this. How good are you at making your audience aware of the problems that you can solve for them via your podcast content? Like, when you put out an episode, how 10 out of 10 obvious is it that, like, here's the problem we're fixing, and this is a problem that I can help you fix a lot faster? And like, what would just kind of quick analysis, what would you grade yourself, scale 1 to 10?
Maybe a 7 or an 8.
Okay, good. Now, one quick tip on this, because I'm just hot on this right now, because I've kind of exited the launching, selling space, and I am problem solving. So one of the techniques that I've been using that is working extremely well, in fact, my discovery call calendar has never been this full since I started doing this, which I love. I start off the episode saying, one of the problems that I love helping you all solve is XYZ, and that's what we're going to focus on helping you solve today. So I just position myself as the expert, saying, this is something that I really love helping people solve, and that's why we're focusing on it here today. Kind of just saying, I'm an expert at this, and guess what? I'm going to knock over a domino for you today with this episode. Now, all that being said, I think the big deal strategy that we got to focus on today is what I call my 2/3 content rule, because you are crushing with episodes. You've got 125 episodes out. And when I went back and looked, it is really heavy interview. So here's my 2/3 content rule. And the thing we're trying to solve or prevent from happening is that if you primarily do an interview-based show, your listeners will view you as the person that interviews experts, and they will not view you as the expert that they want to buy from. So this is a huge bridge of listener to client conversion. And this is what most podcasters do. Like, they do hundreds of episodes. Like, I've had clients that have like 500 episodes, all interview, and like, why is nobody buying? I'm like, I bet they're buying from your guests.
Season three is all my episodes. So I did like 10-minute, like, here's a tip here and there. Season 3 is all just me.
That's good.
But seasons after that, there are 3 episodes out of the 12 to 15 that are mine. I start the season with something, and I have a theme for every season. So I'll introduce the theme and give some activations or whatever from that first episode. I'll do one in the middle, and then I'll tie it up at the end with some more activations based on that theme.
Yeah.
So I only do 3. So you're saying 2/3. So you're saying 2/3 needs to be interview, and the other third is opposite.
2/3 need to be solo episodes and or what I call coaching episodes, which is what we're doing here. So I want you to start doing these are my most downloaded episodes.
Okay.
I've had famous authors on my show. I've had, name it. And this episode will do twice as many downloads. And because you represent my ideal listener avatar, my ideal client avatar, and the conversation we are having is the one that they need to hear.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care what Gretchen Rubin and Michael Hyatt have to say.
To be honest, I love this concept so much. I was like, I have a couple clients. I was like, you need to do this concept.
Yeah.
So I love this concept so much. I'm not sure how I would do it in my business model, but I can think about it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can tell you. So basically, the idea is 2/3 you are positioned as the expert. 1/3 are strategic interviews. And with that, I challenge all my audience members and my clients to, if you're going to have somebody on your show as an interviewee, they have to be able to deliver for your audience, but you also have to have a what's in it for you or your business factor. Like, I won't let anybody come on my show as a guest unless they have a podcast that I could potentially be a guest on, or
absolutely 100%
a newsletter collab or something like that.
My niche is my clients are my guests. My niche is my guests, and I cherry pick them. So yes, absolutely.
So that's important. So that's a third. Even if we can get to half and half, it's just really, really going to help with the expert positioning, because people go back, they may not get all the way back to season 3. They may just find you now and then get all these interview episodes, and then they check out or whatever. Like, you may not get that opportunity. So 2/3 solos you're already doing. The coaching episodes are simple. I mean, you can do this with current clients as case studies, or you can invite listeners or audience members on, like what we're doing here. I do both. And they both work well, but just getting started, it might be easier to do case studies, and you bring a client on and you're talking about the branding overhaul that you did, their marketing overhaul that you did. And you say the format can be very simple, where you go, okay, why did we first start working together? What problem were we looking to solve? How did we solve that? And you unpack their success story. Simple, like, because and if you wanted to, you could add into it, make it like a little bit of a bonus coach and go, what's your next problem you want to solve? And let's start solving that.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because a lot of them come on as a podcast guest, then they become a client, right? Because that's the ideal journey
Yeah.
for us. And so to be able to get them back on to the podcast to do like more of a, hey, I'm going to give you a half an hour of my time for free. Let's talk about your
Yep.
next struggle or whatever.
Yeah.
That might be the best way to do that, is to kind of, they've already become a client. So it's kind of like a VIP session, a VIP
Yeah.
coaching session, but I do
Exactly.
want to record it. So I like that idea. That
Yeah.
actually works more in my business model.
Yeah.
I think so.
And like, I do this with a lot of my clients that have memberships. I had a health podcast where I developed this concept, and I had a health membership, and you had to be a member to do the 15-minute hot seat session. And I used it as a built-in testimonial and advertisement for my membership. And at the end of the episode, I'd say, hey, here's a code for half off your first month membership. Also, since you listened to this episode. So it drove into the membership. The same thing for consulting clients. I mean, masterminds, anything. So it's kind of, you're pulling people out, success stories, built-in testimonial, expert positioning, easy content. I mean, it's just like it's the easiest content you will create. So for our session today, like obviously you're not a client, but I sent a call to action to my newsletter audience. You replied to that, and here we are. And I researched your show, but I mean, I wasn't spending hours. I probably spent 10, 15 minutes going, okay, I see this. Here's some things that I think we could do that will help. And, here are the questions I want to ask you. And here we are creating cool content together. And it's all just interaction based. It's not like, here's my 12 PowerPoint presentation thing.
Please don't bore me with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I would at least start doing these as case studies. And then as you get those out there, I bet if you were to put a call to action at the end or beginning of that episode and going, hey, do you like what you're hearing here? I actually want to start pulling audience members up for a different style of coaching audit episode, whatever you call it. And I'll tell you what, I think you'll start converting those people into clients at a 50% plus clip as well. Like that's what I've seen, and a lot of my clients are seeing. Like, you do 2 of these, one of them is going to join the thing.
Yeah.
And
right.
because they get the taste test, and the natural next question is like, well, this was great.
Well, you're building trust
Exactly.
immediately. So you're not having to like convince them of anything, because you've seen the actual work. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is exactly, for me, this is exactly what it's like to coach with me. When people like, my promise for people that come on and do an audit episode is I will coach you as if you are paying me. I will not gatekeep. I will not hold anything back. Yep. I won't say, oh, and if you just pay me this fee, then I'll give you the answers that you're seeking. It's like, nope, I'm pretending you're paying me. I'll give you 100% whatever you need, as if you were paying me. So it's just, like you said, like, trust. But then the audience hears that fly on the wall style. So then you have that conversion factor happening. So what happens to me a lot of times is I'll be on someone else's podcast, or I'll speak at a live event like PodFest, and I'll get an influx of new listeners. They will binge listen backwards. They hear all this expert positioning.
Yes.
And my only 2 calls to action that I have on my show, I rotate between them. One is join my newsletter. The other one is sign up for a discovery call. That's it. I don't talk about my Instagram. Nothing. Like those are the only 2 things that I mention. So they hear that call to action and they hop on my email list like you have. And then they sign up for a discovery call if it makes sense to start solving problems together at a faster rate. And it just, like I said, it positions you as the expert. So I think that is something I would strongly consider for you.
When you do your join my newsletter, do you have like a free download or anything that you give, or just join my newsletter?
No. So earlier this year, I ditched all my lead magnets. I ditched all my email funnels.
I'm kind of at that point.
I erased all of them. My only thing is my newsletter. My high value add newsletter is the lead magnet, because my moment of awareness was, if someone opts into my newsletter, they want to open my newsletters. If someone opts into my lead magnet, my scorecard, they probably don't want my emails. They just want the scorecard.
They want the freebie, and then they're going to ditch.
Yeah. It's like one of those said no one ever quotes, like, yes, please put me in your 72 email funnel and then sell me something that costs $5,000 at the end, please. Like, said no one ever. Like that's not a thing. And like, and we're just so overly sold and overly CTA'd and overly marketed to. And we feel that our audience sure is feeling that way too. So I switched. I'm like, no more lead magnets, no more funnels. I'm just going to send a really valuable newsletter every week.
Do you talk a little bit about join my newsletter to get X things? Like, do you talk a little bit about what they're going to get in the newsletter?
Yeah. The key thing is this. And I love these questions that you're asking me, by the way, Beverly. You are just feeding me the home run softballs here.
I got you.
My strategy, my Podcast Plus newsletter strategy, the key component is that we're going to do one each week. I do a podcast episode every Tuesday, a newsletter every Thursday. But here's the key. For me, they must be on different topics. The mistake most podcasters make is they do an episode and then the newsletter is to promote the episode. That's the purpose of the newsletter. And I want two separate content pillars. So if the episode is about business, I want the newsletter more about podcasting growth or something like that, or vice versa. So I want them to want to consume both. So I say that in my intro and outro. I'm like, by the way, you're only getting 50% of my content. And guess what? Every Thursday, I teach on a different topic. And that's why you need to be on my newsletter list. Because I talk about the problems that I solve at the beginning of every episode. I say, hey, I'm great at solving 4 problems for podcaster: how to optimize your launch, how to get your podcast over 1,000 downloads per episode, how to convert more listeners into clients, and how to simplify your online business strategy. I'm going to cover one of those topics every week in my show. I'm going to cover a different one every week in my newsletter. This is why you need to be on my newsletter. Bam.
Great content pillars. This is what simplifies marketing for all of my clients, is when you have those 4, sometimes a little bit more topics.
Yeah.
3 to 6 is what I say.
Yep. Agree.
And you go in and go hard. Like, that is it. So I love that you kind of talk about that. So in my interview style ones, like in the coaching ones, or like, do you do that? Which one you're going to go dive into like after record? Like, how do you know which one's going to, like, you're not going to know what we're going to talk about. I mean, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to talk about, but I might talk about something else. So how do you know what you're going to dive into? Like, how does that process work?
Like for today,
Yes.
like as an example. So
Yes.
I kind of knew where I wanted to go. Like, I got a couple other things that'll be helpful. And if we don't have time to cover them, I'll email them to you. But this, I knew, I looked at all those episodes. I see your expertise leaking through. Like, I'm like, Beverly's got her act together. She knows what the heck she's talking about, and she's helping people. I want to show that off. I want to 10X that. Show that off, because that's going to do the listener client conversion. So I was like, 2/3 content rule. That's got the big bold highlight. I'm like, this is what we need to talk about. This is going to be, with this episode, my goal is to help you knock over one domino and go, bam, that sucker's down. Another framework that I use, if you were to pull audience members on, like, we don't know each other, like, so we fly blind into this type of bring an audience member on to the show. One framework I've done with my traditional podcast audits, where we can kind of talk about anything podcasting and business related, I'll say, hey, Beverly, we are going to sit down today. Let's pretend that we're sitting down like this 60 days from today, and we're having a conversation. Everything has gone tremendously well with your podcast and with your business. Just paint that picture for me. So I asked you to paint a picture of growth and things are simplified or whatever. Then the next question is, what do you feel like is the number one thing that's holding you back from getting there right now? What's the most frustrating thing? And then that's what we talk about. That's it. Like, that's the formula for somebody that you don't know. And it is always a great episode. And like I said earlier, you as an audience member represent my audience avatar completely and perfectly. So the questions you have, the back and forth that we have, it's going to be so appropriate for my audience. Like, it is a perfect fit. And like, I have 12 of these types of episodes booked for client conversion. And I bet in at least a third of them, I'm going to be talking about the 2/3 content rule, like with you. And that's fine, because it's always from a different branding standpoint. You have more episodes than the other person, so it's a little bit different. You've got more marketing skills or what else. It's always just different angles and different niche, different branding, different experience levels. So that's 100% okay. So if you hammer one content pillar, one strategy, your audience that's a sign, you know,
what
that's a
you're
sign
known
from
for.
your audience. They need
It's
it.
what you're known for. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. There's nothing wrong with it being a little boring. I mean,
Yeah.
on our end, because that's when you're consistent and persistent in your brand promise.
Correct.
Period.
You know this. You know this.
Totally.
So
So I love this idea of in 60 days, what would it look like? Paint a picture. Because I say to them oftentimes, if I could wave a magic wand and make anything better, what would it be?
Yeah.
And so that fits my
Same
brand,
deal.
right? With what
Yep.
I do. So I kind of like that because it's already one of my questions. I have a magic hat that I pull a ton of questions out.
love it.
It's one of my questions that I have in there. So maybe I need to like do more with that. I think that's a really great angle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you'll find your comfort zone with this. And once I get people to break the ice on these, they quickly become your favorite type of content for a lot of reasons. One, you get to, you know, you get to do what you do best, which is help people and show that off. But also you start seeing like the conversions happening, like, wow, like 80% of these people that sit in this chair that aren't my clients become my clients. Or since I've been releasing these, so many more people go, I found you on your podcast, and now they're hopping on discovery calls or buying stuff. So they become a lot of fun instantly. Now, with this type of content, just some like really quick pro tips, because I've made all the mistakes and I want to help you avoid them right off the bat. Like name it a thing, like name it a name. Don't just call it like free, come on for free coaching, come on for free, whatever. Like I call this a client conversion audit or a podcast audit. Like give it a little bit of naming branding. I 100% know you'll have zero problem with that because that is what you are magical at. But if you do free coaching, free whatever, you get a lot of no-shows and people don't take it seriously. So don't do that. I would recommend 30 minutes or less. 15 to 30 minutes seems to be the sweet spot. Just because that as content creators, that will keep, and as givers and as helpers, we'll want to go. And now here are the 17 things. Here's a complete online course. Yeah. So we go, you know, what's the ideal situation? What's keeping you from getting there? Let's focus on the one thing, knock over that domino. We've created momentum, job done, job complete. My motto is if we're spending more than 30 minutes together, you should probably be paying me. So that's you know, that's the rule for me. So 15 to 30 minutes. We want to start working these into your content. The sooner, the better. What I see with a lot of people, like I've got a current client right now that he's been doing 3 interview episodes a week. He's got hundreds of episodes and he's got them booked out he's already got them recorded for like the next year. And I was like, listen, because he's like, once I get through all these, then we'll start adding these new. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
We got to start folding them in. And you just let people know that if you have pre-recorded episodes, like, hey, you're supposed to be going out on this date. We're pushing it back by 3 weeks because I'm doing some new content. Like that's not going to be a big deal. Like if they have a problem with it, that's their problem, not yours. Like that's them not being flexible. It's your platform. You get to do what you want to do. Absolutely. So I would start folding these in because if you truly want to add a ton of value, establish expert positioning, convert more listeners into paying clients, this has been the magic for me since 2017. And like, it's my most important content and my most fun content. So yeah, I'll shut up. Any questions, any implementation questions that we need to knock out here?
How else do you repurpose this? So I have a ton of testimonials already on my website. Like it's obviously nice to get them, but I have a lot. So I'm not sure, like how else do you, right now with my podcast, I'll take a couple of the best snippets, right? And I'll use them because I do it weekly and I don't want to inundate with just a ton of like snippets. Like I want other thought leadership stuff as well, but maybe this kind of replaces some of that. I also do video. So there is, some video snippets I can use as well. It's not just audiograms or whatever. How else do you repurpose the content besides just throwing out the episode and saying, hey, this is what we did today, a 2/3 rule, take a listen to Beverly's story? Like how else do you share it?
Well, me personally probably won't be helpful because I don't do any video content. Like I am a minimalist. Like I've got over 1 million audio downloads. It works really well for me. So I only do minimum effective dose. Now, for people that come to me, like my main platforms or my focus platforms are video based. Like I'm not anti-video. I'm pro simplicity and what works and just do that.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you're like, these are TikTok videos, these are YouTube shorts, and these are things that are really great because, like you said, it's kind of a built-in testimonial. It's got expert positioning, but also has those like little nuggets of truth. And yeah, it's all built in. So you get all of that into one. So especially if you're using AI or something or a virtual assistant to just clip these things up, you're going to get a bunch of that. And just in general, I've got another marketing rule that applies to podcast episode release specifically. I call it my 72-hour rule. With the Apple and Spotify platform specifically, when you release a new episode, it's considered new content for 72 hours. It's kind of like you post on Instagram, and that's a new post. And if you get engagement, the algorithm shares it to more people. Something similar happens on Apple and Spotify, and a lot of people don't know this. So I don't recommend marketing an episode for a 7-day cycle. I recommend hitting it hard for 3 days and going 5 unique assets in 72 hours. So we're usually doing day 1 AM, PM, day 2 AM, PM, and day 3 AM or something like that. And, that could be clips. That could be long form posts on LinkedIn or Threads. That could be little audiogram things. I mean, whatever, carousel posts with your top 4 takeaways, Instagram live streaming, whatever it is that you do, give them 5 different appetizers, newsletter. Like on my newsletter, I talk about a different topic, but I still shout out my latest episode. Like it has its own little spot, so 5 assets within 72 hours and just kind of folding this into the system that you've already got in place and where you're posting and the content that's already what I would consider to be easy, lucrative, and fun. Like the platforms you love being on, the type of content you love creating. Let's just fold this in and let it work its expert positioning magic. And you're going to see that conversion start to happen across the page. So
it's good. It's giving me a lot to think about in the sense of I have a content vault system that I teach my clients and how to fit this particular part of the content in it. And actually it might replace some things and some other work that I do, which could be helpful in time. I'm very intentional about my time, and good. Time is a thief in many ways. And so if I can chunk and stack some of this to help with content creation, I feel like that would be really valuable as well. And I love the idea of it being like a VIP service to my current customers as a little added bonus because it gives so much back. So I love that. It's like a two-way street. I can help them and they can help me. So it's great. This is great feedback, Adam. I really appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Well, I feel like we knocked over a nice domino here, created some momentum, got some aha moments, and you got plenty to think about. I want to make sure that you take a minute to shout out your website, your show, your brand, your social media. Where do people go to connect with you, Beverly?
So my website is wickedlybranded.com. All my socials are at wickedlybranded on all the places. Or you can find me on LinkedIn for my name at Beverly Cornell. And I love to connect with people, and I'm always looking for really good guests. So if you are a female founder doing some cool things in the consulting, coaching, or creative space, I would love to connect with you.
That's my audience. Those people are out there listening right now, Beverly. So reach out and connect. Beverly, I really appreciate you coming on. This is kind of a new experiment with the audit format that I'm using. So I appreciate you being willing to come on the show and participate and help me create some cool content. Hey there, good looking. Just a quick reminder to hit that link in the show notes and get signed up for my free Podcasting Business School newsletter. I'm going to send you a fresh, hot newsletter every single Thursday with some of my best podcast launch, growth, and monetization strategies. Hit that link in the show notes and keep your eyes on your inbox.